Hey, BJ, how you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Good, thank you. So just, with the Browns, bringing in, drafting another middle linebacker and the competition that you already have there heading into this season, what's your
Mhm.
mindset about your role and what do you hope will happen for you this season?
To get these guys better, man, including myself, for us to be the best linebacking core, across the league. That's my job, and that's why they brought me here. And so, looking forward to that. Up for the challenge, and yeah, I think I answered that.
And how determined are you, I guess I would say, to nail down and win that starting job on opening day?
To be honest, I don't even, I understand that, but I don't even look at it like that. I take things a day at a time. Just laying one brick as perfectly as possible as I can, and whatever happens, happens. I have tremendous not to sound arrogant or anything, but I have tremendous, faith in my game. And that's not a knock on anyone as well. They're all great people. We have a great room. And we get to meet every week or every day for about 4 or 5 days out of the week. And, it's pretty good, man. We got a great room.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you,
Mm.
Mary Kay. Our next question is from Scott Petrick.
Hey, BJ. Are you most comfortable in the middle? Is that where you see yourself playing in Joe Wood's defense?
It is. It is where I see myself playing. I love the middle linebacker spot, man. To be able to call it and to be able to be on both sides on multiple plays, man. I love playing in the middle.
And, the room is really young, right? Besides a couple of second-year guys, a first-year guy, and Jacob. Do you appreciate having a veteran, a kind of a mentorship role? Is that something that you thought when you signed with the Browns, that would be part of your duties?
It is. But as a middle linebacker, and especially as long as I've been playing, that role, that leadership role, is something that you just inherit. And so it's something that I'm definitely looking forward, to, being an addition there for those guys.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for that, Scott. Marla, you're up. If you could unmute on your side, please.
Okay. Hi, BJ. Glad to see you. I'm just curious, when growing up, did you have any middle linebackers that you really wanted to model yourself after, or maybe not I know there's some pretty big names there, but just, compare yourself to or model yourself after?
I had a guy that from my hometown that played for the Steelers long time ago. He was the first football player that I could comprehend or nourish mentally, and just him and everything that he stood for. He stood for a lot of the right things, and still does. He's a great guy, a great mentor. Uh, and that's Levon Kirkland. Just a great guy, man, and the way that he played the game, hard nosed, just a hard nosed guy, could fly around. He's definitely one of my first visuals of just like a linebacker, this period.
Did you remember him playing against the Browns?
To be honest, I was too young to even like comprehend a football game, but I knew who he was, if that makes any sense. And so that's just kind of how that went as far as him being the first football player that I've ever known.
How would you describe your style? Are you a super aggressive guy?
For sure. And that's what makes this defense fun. We're going to be able to be aggressive and fly around. Yeah, I'm excited.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Marla. We'll go back to Mary Kay. You're up.
Hey, BJ, just wondering, with the 1-year contract, what was your mindset in being willing to do something like that? Were you kind of betting on yourself a little bit? So that's the first part of my question. I have a second part.
You could sort of say that. Just a great opportunity here in Cleveland, man. And, I definitely wanted to be here. And so the opportunity is, a great one. And, that's just kind of how I saw that.
And do you feel like it's a chance to maybe work into some of a longer term situation if it all goes well?
For sure. I definitely do.
And then the other question I had was, who do you see as, like, what is the middle linebacker competition like? Who do who is part of that right now as you look at that?
As far as
who are the other key players? I mean, we know that, that Jacob was just drafted, and, you've got Mac, you've got Taki that can, they can play different roles. So, like, do you have any idea, like, who the middle linebacker room is right now?
I do, but as far as competition, I compete, with myself. That's my biggest opponent. I compete with myself every single day. And I know it sounds kind of cliche, and guys use that and say that a lot. But just the way that I visualize the game mentally and the way that I prepare for the game mentally, I go at myself a lot and dig into myself a lot.
Okay.
I
Thank you.
hope I answered your question.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
Thank you, Mary Kay. We're going to go back to Scott Petrick. Scott, your line's open.
Hey, BJ, you've been in the league for a little bit now. How different is this offseason program, especially being new to a team? You'd be in Berea, you'd get a sense of everything about the organization, and now you're first of all, where are you? But how different is it?
I'm in South Carolina right now at TNT Sports. And this is where I train, man. And so it's very different. As far as I'd say the biggest change and difference of this offseason has been not being able to form a chemistry with the guys in person. We get to talk and laugh over the phone all the time and, gather that way, but it's not the same. As far as me being able to adapt to it, I've been putting myself into a routine each week because I feel like that's the biggest difference between whether we were there or how it is now. And so keeping myself in a routine and making sure that that I'm on schedule every single day and that I'm in a routine is very important to me because that's what I would be doing if I was there. Those guys, they would have us in a routine and have us doing things a set way. And so I try to self-discipline myself and have things like that way.
And when you have so many young guys in that room with you, and you have a new defensive system and a new coordinator in Joe, does this put you guys behind the 8 ball if you don't show up until the end of July for training camp as far as learning the system?
Not at all. Not at all. We meet every single day, man. And, Joe and Coach, man, those guys, man, they do an awesome job of prepping us and quizzing us and doing everything in their power and will that they could do. We're doing a lot of things that a lot of other teams aren't doing. I commend those guys on that and, setting that standard.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, Scott. We're going to Daryl Ryder. Daryl, I believe you need to hit unmute on your side, and you should be good to go. Thank you.
Hey, BJ, welcome to Cleveland. What did you know about Joe Woods before you signed with the Browns, and what makes you feel like you're kind of a perfect fit for what he wants to run?
I know him from winning the Super Bowl, in Denver, him at San Fran. And as far as the scheme goes, I feel like I fit in, perfectly, which was another big reason why, I just decided to come here and chose here. Just being able to be aggressive and play aggressive and fly around, I just love it.
You're known as one of those guys that is really good at stopping the run. What makes you so good in the defensive run game?
I kind of want to say something about that as well, but not to really dig into that. but yes, I'm great at that. But I think that as far as like the defense that we're in now, I feel like it would show the upside of my game a little bit more as well. But as far as on the covering and stuff, I feel very confident in fulfilling those roles as well.
All right, thank you, Daryl. Mary Kay, your line's open.
Hey, BJ, can you describe a little bit of what you started to talk about how you guys kind of laugh and joke around a little bit maybe in the Zoom calls, and perhaps that's giving you an opportunity to get to know the guys a little bit. And we talked to JC Treader the other day, and he talked about how you guys you guys could just go players only on the Zoom. So can you describe, just a little bit about, what that's like and how you guys are kind of getting to know each other that way, and maybe give us an example of like who's funny or what's kind of going on with that?
So how do I want to answer that? Just like it's hard to explain the camaraderie that comes with, the locker room. And so we kind of are trying to like fulfill that void of us not being around each other. So when we're on those calls and things of that nature, guys just try to like let loose and not be disrespectful, but show their personality. And it's important that we all have a feel for each other. And so as far as who's funny, I think Mac is pretty funny. He's a pretty funny guy, as well as Taki. I mean, we have a great room, man, and great camaraderie in the linebacking room. But yeah, those guys are pretty funny.
So you guys do that as a group, as a whole team, some of that, and then when you break off into your just linebacker Zooms or whatever you use, you've been having an opportunity there just to really get to know those guys?
Yeah. We always have a brief, moment to just share and talk about how things are going outside of football or outside of, learning the scheme. And so, I feel like we're doing a great job as far as that goes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mary Kay. Let's take these last two. We'll go to Anthony and then Nate Ulrich. Anthony, yep, you're open.
Hey, BJ, you said earlier that your routine is important to you, so I was just wondering, what does your daily routine look like right now?
My daily routine is to get up early, man. I train. We have set workout and conditioning things, and we have required things that we have to do as well. I try to get those in, and then I also try to get the things that I love to do with my personal trainer. And we hit those things. Then I get into studying. I study for about a good 2-3 hours. Then get into those Zoom calls with the guys, and we chop it up. We hit the scheme. Then we have our little intermission where we all talk, see how everybody's doing, and then we break out, and then I hit a little overview, and then just try to clear my mind. I normally call my daughter right after I get done with all of that stuff. But yeah, that's my schedule.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Anthony. And to wrap us up, Nate Ulrich, your line is open.
Hey, BJ. I have two questions. The first one is the Browns had a good middle linebacker play the last few years from Joe Schobert, and he made a Pro Bowl, and he barely missed a snap. And I know you're a different player; you're going to be your own man. But I was wondering if you take that, that standard of quality linebacker play to heart as you come in, to try to lead this defense. And then my second question is, being a former Giant with Olivier Vernon and Odell Beckham Jr., have you talked to those guys about what to expect from the Browns in Cleveland?
To answer your first question, kind of like I said earlier, I feel very confident in my game. If you ask me, I'd tell you that I prepare and that, I'm able to perform, as well as any other linebacker in the league, not just to point out one guy. And so I feel very confident in that with the opportunity given. And as far as, speaking with O and OV, man, you know, I've spoken to those guys, but not necessarily about that. Because, you know, it's a new staff in, and so not necessarily about that. But definitely had a chance to, you know, tap in with those guys.